Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of Dirt and Grip. This is our 8th episode. We are Throttle and Dirt Media. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about a main topic here of racing today and driving tomorrow. Essentially, what racing technologies from yesterday are in cars today, and what racing technologies in racing cars today are going to be translated into the cars of tomorrow. So, how about you? How much do you know about cars and which technologies originally started in the actual racing industry and either were perfected or matured before making its way over to our daily drivers?
There's a lot. Well, even as you were saying there in the intro, there, what has become part of racing, what has not become part of racing, what has made it to cars today. There's so many key factors, because not only has stuff come from cars, it's also come from trucks, and there's innovators, cheaters, of course, that have been out there in the past and everything that love the push buttons of some inspectors and stuff like that, which is quite fun. We do not condone cheating of any kind with our company, but sometimes it pushes to the next level.
If you're not treating, are you even trying to win?
Nutty boy. But yes, no, I would say, pretty much about 85% of your car has been developed on a racetrack somewhere.
It's always interesting to find out. Most people, they get in their car and they drive to work, they drive to the store, and they don't realize that half of the reasons why they have an affordable car with it's fairly safe, is because some poor chud wrecked in turn 4. And so we're not doing that anymore. We're going to change some things.
Well, that, but also, I mean, we got to give credit where credit's due. One, the innovation of the road trucks back in the 30s and 40s come to today for the semi-truck. That has created longevity vehicles where NASCAR, Formula One, Le Mans, Rallycross even, a lot of those have designed high horsepower engines that are designed to just go and put out maximum power. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for the average everyday person, doesn't realize that they're driving, we'll say, for example, a brand new F-150 truck. 2026 F-150 trucks are about 300 to 400 horsepower. Do you need 300 to 400 horsepower to go get groceries and take the kids to school?
Yes. Yes.
But most people won't even use a quarter of that power in what they do day-to-day life. So that's kind of the thing that a lot of people don't understand with the innovation of the motors and why we have the horsepower we have today in the vehicles, mostly due to racing.
I guess that begs the question, what about racing makes it the perfect laboratory for vehicle innovation?
You get to test new products out. You get to test out new ideas, new aerodynamics. I mean, it really just depends on what you're wanting to play with.
I suppose it has to do with wear and tear, though.
To a point, yeah.
Because your normal daily driver, the kind of wear and tear you're going to put on between 4 and 5 years of just regularly driving it around.
It's about equivalent to about one season of racing.
Maybe not even that. Maybe depending on the racing, something like Le Mans, one of those long races, that singular race probably puts as much wear and tear on those vehicles
as a lifetime,
as several years of just basic daily driving is going to put on a car.
I would say that, yeah, especially the 24-hour Le Mans, where you got 2 to 3 to 4 drivers and everything.
So between each race, they're essentially having to figure out how to combat at least several months worth of regular wear and tear on a vehicle.
Well, not even regular. That's extreme.
Right, but if you stretch it out, like a couple months just of basic wear and tear that's squeezed into a couple-hour race,
right,
on a Sunday, and then you have to spend 2.5 weeks completely rebuilding the vehicle
for the next event.
Don't forget a bolt.
Yep.
The wheel well. Like, I don't know if you've seen the video of the car pulls in, the guy pulls off the wheel. He looks at him, pulls out a bolt. He looks at it. He's like, "Oh no!"
Trying to figure out where to stick it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
It's not good, guys.
Well, no, that's as every racer, puller, sand dragger, everybody out there will know. There is no greater worry whenever you're done putting your motor completely back together. You look down, and there's a bolt laying there, and it's like, I remember taking that out. Why did I not put that back?
Or in my case, why is there? I just did an oil change. Why is there a bolt? I don't know. Where did the bolt come from? We don't know what happened. I guess we're sending it and hoping for the best.
Yeah, that's typically your theology on driving.
That's right.
Hope for the best.
That's right. Send it, hope for the best, and things go kerplunk. Oh no.
Yeah, we've all been in those situations. What's that noise? Turn the radio up. We'll be okay.
That's right.
But yeah, no, the innovations and everything. It's from aero to fuel to suspension components to even futuristic. A lot of people are using AI now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really agree with it, but I mean, it's a new technology that's out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't like AI. I'm in the middle. I can see the benefits of using a technology like AI correctly.
Yes.
But like all new technologies, it has actually more so really because of what it can do. It has the ability to be abused in a manner that any previous technology couldn't be. And there's a lot of scummy corporations that are already beginning to abuse it in ways that are unethical, but there's no actual legal guidelines currently surrounding it because
what you're touching at is the aspect is there is one law out there, but it's so gray written they are going to abuse it, and it's safety. You can put anything on a vehicle so long as it's for safety. Yes. That orange lug nut.
That's right.
Is safety. It must be on the vehicle.
Yep.
Yes, it's ridiculous out there. But yeah, so we'll start in the beginning, I would probably say, where innovation of racing really kind of took on.
Well, Le Mans has got to be one of the big ones. Because early on, I don't know, this has been 30s, 20s, 30s, birthplace of Le Mans, the disc brakes, they started taking them off the big trucks, putting them on cars. But it wasn't feasible because of how expensive it was to maintain and make. Yeah, for the trucks, it was so expensive in order to turn your gear over. So a lot of people don't realize the average truck runs around with a drum brake. Up until recently, and everything within the past 10 years, a lot of trucks were drum brakes. You're talking 20-inch drums that weighed about 300 pounds, fully kitted out. Hernia givers, but they were longevity. But the problem is with a drum brake, they heat up, crack, they bust. So innovators came up with disc brakes, and for semi trucks, okay, so we already have a system that's out there and working to convert an entire fleet. Okay, so if you're an owner operator, yeah, you can flip that over no problem. You can maintain that yourself. But you're talking about a company that's got a fleet of over 100 trucks. You can't afford to flip something like that easily. Right. Yeah, because of how expensive it was. The whole technology itself was going to die out until Le Mans kind of noticed it, took it on, because they realized drum brakes, when you use them at high speeds, and often it builds up heat, and crack your brakes, the drums can chatter. Well, a lot of the old racing, even older, back in the even 20s and older, back when they were running aircraft engines, and brakes were a questionable object, especially for the Indy 500 and some of these cross country races. They were band brakes, basically a reverse of a drum brake. But well, let's be honest, they're pretty much questionable at high speed. You pulled the brake. Why am I not slowing down? Why is that fence coming quickly at me? And so disc brakes really helped Le Mans be able to conquer the heat problem. And then once performance companies started making more and more disc brake parts, that of course went over into the performance side of your regular car manufacturers. They started putting disc brake packages on their performance cars, and then eventually it became more and more feasible to manufacture disc brake parts, and that just made its way all the way over till by the mid to late 90s, just about every car you got would have at least disc brakes in the front. Yep. If not all the way around. Well, it was required, I believe, back in the early 80s. It was flipped over to where you were required to have disc front, and you could have drum rear. But a lot of car companies towards the late 90s, I would say, pretty much came around with the fact that we will run a four-wheel disc brake, but we will run a drum emergency brake. Which, if anybody knows, if you never use those things, after about 40 years, 20 years, even 5 years, good luck getting those rotors off. Not even that, just the whole thing. It's like, I have a parking brake. Does it work? No. Why? Well, because when you engage it accidentally, after about 25 years of not, the cable says,
Rust.
I'm not moving,
Mm-hmm.
and now everything's jammed up, and so congratulations. Now you have to take it all apart,
Get a tow bill and everything
then,
else involved.
and then pull it, or just do what the average American does and just say, send it.
Till they heat up and break apart.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that happen too.
You reduce 10 miles per gallon, but it's okay because we can go forward.
Backwards is a little tricky at times, though. But yeah, I would say, as we were talking before we even started the episode here, a little bit on that. Probably one of the first innovations for racing, other than overhead cams and your dome pistons and all that, it would probably be the turbo technology.
Yeah, that was 1918 or so.
Mm-hmm.
According to my notes, September 1918. A Dr. Sanford Moss, this guy is a legend, because he took a V12 engine, put a turbo supercharged it, and then had an idea that the turbo supercharger, because of the way it works and the way it compresses air, would allow airplanes to reach higher altitudes and keep the power that they would have at sea level.
Yeah, a lot of people back a lot of fighter pilots from that era, they would, especially during World War I, once you got to higher altitudes with the enclosed pressurized cabs, even unpressurized cockpits, once you got up to altitude, they would just sputter. You just couldn't get enough air in the system, so hence when the turbochargers and P-51 Mustang in the 50s came out with a supercharger,
right,
just in order to force enough air in them engines, keep them going at altitude.
But the reason Dr. Sanford Moss is a legend, that the man's insane. He took that V12 engine, put it in a truck, and said, let's drive Pikes Peak for funsies. 350 horsepower. Now, that doesn't seem like much, because now your everyday normal truck, as you said, is like 400-ish, 350, 400-ish horsepower. The 350 horsepower in 1918 in a vehicle is insane.
Well, to give you an idea of preference and everything, most people back in that time would get coal delivered to your house to heat your house.
Right.
And Packard had a truck out there, and it was the Packard 18.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they call it the 18?
At 18 horsepower.
18 horsepower would go a maximum of 20 mile an hour.
Yes.
And here's the thing. Did it go slower when it was loaded? No. Did it go faster when it was empty? No. 20 mile an hour was about how fast you were going in that wooden basket.
It's insane to me that's what he decided to do. Instead of putting it in an airplane, just flying it around the Rivers Point, he's like, nah, fam. We're going to put this in a truck, and we're going to drive Pikes Peak. The man's insane. I love it. It's just,
My question is, because back then, a lot of the brakes, as we touched on, were band brakes.
Oh, God.
Could you imagine driving down that mountain on band brakes?
Going up's probably not an issue. Going down.
That's the problem. Gearing is a wonderful thing to keep you at your speed.
That's probably possibly an issue. Because this was 1918. Roads, not really paved at the time. This was almost certainly a dirt road in Pikes Peak.
Oh, I guarantee it. A little bit of water on that road. Oh, you're fine.
Oh, man. Tell you what.
Anybody that knows the Appalachian Mountain Range, or even some of you guys out in the Rockies, you guys know what we're talking about with that.
Yeah.
Going up, no problem. Going down's issue.
Going down. Look to the right. Oh, look. A sheer cliff face. Look to the left. Oh, look. Hell.
Well, I mean, I remember my family, we went on vacation back when I was a child, and we had a old Chrysler minivan.
Yes, I remember.
And we went up, I believe it was Flat Top down there in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
We boiled the brakes on the way back down that, just in a minivan.
Ooh, boy.
If anybody knows, that old road that used to be there before they fixed it and everything, it was pretty steep, but it was a switchback, so you heat your brakes up pretty quick on that.
Yes, you do.
A lot of people don't realize, put her in low gear, let the motor slow you down going down the hill. Semi-trucks, do not attempt that. Do not put it in low gear and go down the hill, because you will blow that motor apart. Or your transmission, especially these new automatics.
Yes.
I don't know. What will be you say be the next innovation out there?
Probably synthetic fuels, to be honest.
Okay.
Or at least it'll be the next technology to fully.
Well, that's kind of a hard one because your synthetic fuels. So if you're talking as synthetics wise, so you got like biodiesel out there, which is really just planting. It's still oil. It's still
Right.
basically oil that you're just depending on where you're getting it from.
Specifically, the plastic derived fuel.
Yeah.
There's that kid, I can't remember where he's at here in the States.
They're kind of he's. A lot of people
But
have been
he's-
trying to debunk him on that one. I don't know enough about his system in order to kind of
From what read, it seems scientifically feasible.
right.
I'm not looking at it and immediately going, this lead to gold, what you doing? But if what he's doing is in fact taking plastic, breaking it down to its basic components, and then turning it into a liquid capable of being internally combusted by an engine,
Right.
the amount of plastic waste that we have, the ability
Oh, yeah.
to take all of that, break it down to a usable fuel as a viable alternative fuel source that is safe for your regular everyday internal gasoline internal combustion engine. That's really going to help keep gas prices down.
Yeah, it would be nice. But there is another way to do it as well. Is what creates oil for one.
Well, sure,
It's
they've
pressure.
always had,
It's pressure and heat.
yeah.
What you
they've
can
had the
also
ability.
what you can also do too is you can take waste like when they're
Right.
when they're mowing the sides of the roads, roadkill and all that. You can
Right.
take all that biodegradable and everything, throw it in a big pressure cooker basically, and you can get oil out of that as well.
Right, that's been around for a while. Back when I was late '90s, early 2000s, when I was growing up in school, middle school or so, I learned about that was possible, and
Yeah.
they have already done it. But they didn't do it because the amount of energy it took
It requires
to create the fuel did not offset the amount of energy the fuel itself contained,
That
thus being way more expensive.
yeah.
It wasn't commercially viable.
I would say we probably have the technology to do it today, and even you can actually even do it on a long-term basis underneath literally a big black container and everything, running solar heat on it, and everything will do the same thing. The plastic though, that takes a little bit more pressure, so I would probably say that one's going to fall into the similar aspects of
Well,
cost to make versus cost to run.
I think it also helps that while you can't say that the oil companies have lost really any power, they've also their ability to shut down the innovative market
Oh,
has
it's ridiculous.
significantly weakened over the last couple decades.
Mm-hmm.
There's there's the car that ran on water. There was
He disappeared.
there was
Yeah.
the car that was purely run by a nuclear.
That was done by
Small
President.
nuclear.
Well, that was actually a fission battery actually, and Ford
Right.
was working on a small nuclear
Then
power planted car, which considers like large impacts and everything of today with some of these backups, especially across the I-80, across down there 70 and all. That might have been a little interesting today if we were running nuclear.
not really based on nuclear itself. People understand how
Oh, it's
actually
extremely
safe
clean. It's extremely clean
and how safe
Yeah.
it actually is. Like per megawatt, there are less deaths.
Yep.
In nuclear
Than
in the
anything else.
creation
Yeah.
of nuclear, even including Chernobyl,
Yep.
Island, and Fukushima. All of it combined,
Mhm.
it's like a quarter, maybe even less,
Yeah.
of what conventional oil or even steam.
Yep.
With coal.
Yeah, steam's it's pound per pound the most powerful output other than electric out there.
It's
But
also,
the problem is the pressure cooker. It go boom.
not any more than what your average.
No, not anymore. A lot of people,
because all it is just replacing your cold heat
yeah,
to move the steam into the turbine with
mm-hmm.
with a fusion or a fission reaction. What
Yep.
they're working on.
Well, the steam cars were around from the actually early 20s, actually even the early teens. I would say probably as late back as probably 1890s when the first actual major steam car came in. So you had three main hit steamers out there, especially here in the States. So you had White's, which were originally White Sewing Machine Company, who designed a steam car to drive around. Yeah. The reason why they kept the name White's is because it was actually the first presidential car to be used. Everything, it was regenerative steam. So they would exhaust their steam into basically a radiator with a fan blowing on it to condense the water back down. You'd have to put a couple gallons in a day, no problem on that, but it would recycle for the most part on a normal, our day summer heats. It could cool it back down enough to be able to capture at least 90% of that water. Right. Your next ones were Stanley steamers, not the carpet cleaning company, but the actual Stanley steam car. They were basically a pressure cooker kettle that would exhaust all the steam out. So every 30 miles, you had to pull over, put about another 100 gallons of water in it. But they were extremely fast, and there was an old rumor, and Jay Leno touched on it a little bit there too on his channel, that there was a rumor went around that they would give you a Stanley steamer if you could hold the throttle open for the entire minute. There's no claims of this ever being in existence. It was just an old rumor of it. But for the amount of speed back in that time, the average car speed limit was like 5 to 10 mile an hour. You could run faster than a car was legally allowed to drive.
Right.
But you're talking about cars that could do over 60 miles an hour. When the average car can only do, Model T in 1920s, can only do a top speed of about 40 mile an hour on a good flat road, which, if we know anything about back in history, there was no good flat road back then. It was all horse trail.
40 miles an hour was moving.
Yeah.
You were moving.
And typically getting bucked out of the car.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fast.
But yeah, steam, then the later additions was Doble, which was basically a turnkey design steam car, which I would probably put on one of the most innovative cars of technology is today. They were the first turnkey car for the most part. But back on the fuel aspects of it, so yeah, we've had steam, we've had people running gas, we've had diesel, we've had biodiesels. You have hydrogen. I mean, you had
the issue with there's a big issue with hydrogen.
Hindenburg.
It doesn't burn clean.
No,
and
hydrogen
burns.
Hydrogen burns 100%
it causes
clean.
Metal to get super brittle.
Yes, it's a very hot, but it's a colder flame.
And because of that, it's difficult to have an engine that will be able to handle hydrogen for a long period of time without eventually breaking down and having to replace all these turbines.
Well, hydrogen actually burns cooler than your average gasoline car. So where your standard car operation temperature is about, on average cars, between 190 to 210. Bigger diesel engines typically is about 170 to about 190 is about normal operating temperature today. Hydrogen, one, burns cold, but it is actually a clean burn. A lot of people think it's not. It is actually a clean burn. Where you are getting the impurities from is actually the oils that are not being burned off of your cylinder walls and out of your actual intake system. That's where where people miffed off of that one was. But no, it's actually a clean burn. You can burn hydrogen inside your house, just like propane. You won't have an issue with it, and all you're getting out of it is water and everything. So it's dirty water because you're going to have oil particles and stuff like that in it, but it's a clean burn. And pound per pound actually is pretty powerful. The main issue with hydrogen capabilities is the fact that it's, like right now, chargers. So chargers, most people, Teslas, Rivians, electric vehicles, you're not going far. Mm-hmm. You can go far, but you're going sometimes 2/3 longer than the average gasoline car because you got to find a charger.
Yes.
So there's no infrastructure out there for it right now. It's like over in India, there was a car company which is still around. It's called Tata and everything. They have one of the cheapest cars in the world and everything. It costs in America, I think it's like $2,500 right now. But we're not allowed to have them here in the States because they don't meet our crash regulations. So, but they came up with a car concept that ran on compressed air. You just go out, it's basically a reverse application of an internal combustion engine, but you're just moving the cylinder with a compressed air, like your air tools at your typical shop and everything, just slightly larger and a lot more pressure. They were putting them at like 3,200 psi in these bottles.
Don't puncture them.
Well, they were designed to rip it a certain way so they wouldn't explode if you did get in a collision. But I mean, in India, where else would be a better location for it? Because it's always gridlock in India somewhere.
India's a silly country.
Yeah,
Anyways.
they just drive over the shoulder because there was an accident over here. Somebody got shot in the middle of the road.
That and all the trash. It's not a great place to live.
Nah, I would not agree with. I would agree with that.
Well, additionally, but then we got disc brakes. We covered that a bit, but like the main benefit obviously would have been the cooler braking.
Cooler braking, more
then
reliable braking.
When they got drilled and slotted rotors, I remember when that was the new fad.
Oh boy,
drilled and slotted rotors. That was the coolest thing. If you didn't have drilled and slotted rotors, were you even a performance at it?
Well, here's the problem with drilled and slotted. It prematurely wears out your pads a heck of a lot faster.
Sure, but it you can't say that it doesn't do its job in keeping all that brake dust out of the off of the brakes.
It keeps it off the brakes and puts it all over your car.
Yeah, it does. It also, depending on how the holes are drilled, it makes the actual rotor turn into its own cooling fan.
Yes.
Which greatly reduces the amount of heat buildup in the rotor itself, which
it keeps your brakes from
melting.
boiling. Well, it keeps them from boiling the hydraulic fluid in them. Well, the only issue I would say in disc brakes, the next aspect of it, is the carbon brakes. A lot of people buy those, and this is one thing that a lot of people will get on a little touchy about with the old Paul Walker story on how when he died and everything. A lot of people don't realize his car was set up with carbon disc brake. Well, he was driving and racing around on the main street.
You don't want carbon brakes on a...
You have to get them to temperature in order for them to be usable. You can't go drive that car at 100 mile an hour immediately and hope to stop because you got to get those brakes heated up.
That and carbon is a much softer material than anything your ceramic or even your combined material brakes, which means because it's softer, you don't have as much pressure on your brakes.
Yep.
So yes, while you do need to heat them up in order to get the best braking, even when they're heated up, you're still not getting the kind of braking you would get from a performance ceramic.
No, the only good thing about it is for the racetrack, it gets your car lighter, especially for Le Mans. Carbon brakes, once you get those up to heat and pressure and all that, they will stop 10 times faster than any steel brake out there, but they're lighter. But the problem is getting them up to that heat. Mm-hmm. If you ever watch Le Mans, you will see their brakes glowing all the time. Why? Because they're riding them brakes to keep them hot.
And then tires. Obviously, tires originally was just like, here's some rubber. We made it into a wheel.
Yeah. Good luck. Still rigid.
We put it on the outside of a wooden wheel.
Uh-huh.
No air, just rubber. And we're gonna put that in a car. Good luck.
And for winter, don't forget and everything. We're gonna drill holes and we're gonna stick spikes in it so you can actually get up a hill.
That's right, because we only had this much grip. It was this much. That was it. That's all. That's all you had. That's all you had. You have a bike tire on your car.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, went to the
next innovation on the wheel would have went from wood to steel to magnesium, with a bias ply tube tire.
Yeah. And then from that to the two ply, and then from that to the radial.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, now in just about every car, you've got radial tires.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a much different world.
Yeah, and of course, radial tires help significantly with grip and safety. Just driving every day, they last a hell of a lot longer.
You'll blow out a sidewall before you blow out your tread, unless you get it really, really hot. Some drag racers may know about that.
Or you drive.
But you don't throw your tread off like a bi-radial either. That was one thing I remember. Some of my old classic cars, I could only get bi-radials for them, and you'd be going down the road and all of a sudden, what the heck is that? Oh, yeah. Get back there, look there's. I got a tire still holding air, but I ain't got no tread on it. That's gonna be a fun ride.
Don't turn hard.
Well, no, mine always blew on the drive tires. I never had a steer throw it, but I've always had the
steer throw it. It's like I turned. I'm not turning. I'm not turning. I'm not turning. Oh no.
No, that's ice.
Not in the middle of July. It's not.
No, not right now. If we got ice out there, there's some other problems.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, no, the Floridians though they got another issue though down with their roads. So when it gets hot like this, oil comes out of the road. The tar
Yes.
boils, and it's just as bad as ice. Good luck, have
Be
fun.
nice and slippery. Aerodynamics, obviously, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
From a Model T to
Anything on the road today.
anything on the road today.
Even a Jeep Wrangler. I'd probably say have better aerodynamics.
Yeah, anything on the road today has a better aerodynamic profile than any of the custom built race cars of 40 years ago.
I would say a little further because in the 40 years ago, you're talking about the actual Aerodyne era, and even though they weren't really wind testing those cars, a lot of those cars are actually pretty aerodynamic. I mean,
Sure.
You have the Tuckers, you have even the Volkswagen Beetle, you had the Porsche 911 back then.
Sure. They had a great aerodynamic profile, but the mass-produced car of today,
Yes, they do get wind tested.
Would easily either compete or beat the aerodynamic profile of any of those cars 40 years ago.
Pound per pound, I would say in their own class range, the 1950s 911 versus the modern day 911, I would say yes, the modern day is probably going to be a little more aerodynamic. But I'm sorry though, I got to stick with the styling of the day. So
Of course, that doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. Without the
50s and 60s. I mean, those are some gorgeous cars.
right, the Porsche 944, which was just
Interesting.
we're gonna make a perfectly balanced car. No one asked for it, but they did it anyways.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and apparently it worked out great. It was a cult following for them.
Yeah. And they're probably 944 and the 924 are probably the cheapest starter supercar you can actually get into, even though they're really not I wouldn't consider them a supercar, but a supercar brand. You can jump in one of those you can find them used for anywhere between $5 to $10,000 for a base model. And if you want to get a little bit deeper pockets and you want to go find one that's a little quicker than 140 horsepower, you can find the Turbo S or the S series, which are about 200 to 260 horsepower from the 80s, and you're spending on those 25 to 50 grand, depending on what they were. But
Right.
again, even those cars today with that low horsepower, they'll still compete. I mean, you put them on a road course, they will still compete with modern day cars.
So yeah, the greatest performance vector of a car is based on how much weight it has versus how much horsepower it has,
Yep.
and how much torque it has. So you can have
Weight to power ratio.
a lower horsepower car, but as long as its weight is low enough, they can compete with a car that's heavier with more power.
Well, it's like everybody's sitting there, they're looking for the magic zero number and your power to weight ratio.
Right.
I would say you're looking at a lot of people's like, well, I want zero or negative. No, you don't, because now you got more power than you got weight for grip. The magic number is 0.1 to 0.3. That's your magic number range right there. You have a little more weight than your horsepower range, and it keeps you hooked up. But yeah, I would say probably in innovation, as we just heard going down the road there, motorcycles, I would have to say, is power to weight ratios. It's all tire grip on those.
Yes. Yeah, motorcycles are crazy. They're nuts. They're insane.
Yeah, but there is nothing better riding out there and getting out there and feeling the wind.
I can feel the wind too. Just put down the windows. But I don't.
Some people out there, though, they still feel the wind, though, with the windows even closed.
Huh.
You know.
Don't put your feet down on the floor too hard. That's not a floor, that's a rug.
Yeah. Where'd the stop sign go?
And then engine management with horsepower.
Yeah.
So you'd start out with the first V8 was only like 58 horsepower or so.
Yep.
Back, the first commercially viable V8.
That
was
would have
about
been
58 horsepower. That was.
Well, Cadillac was the first one with
Cadillac.
between 38 to 58 horsepower, depending on the year. You had Ford came out with their flathead later, and it was about 38 to 45 horsepower.
Right. And then through, of course, once the flathead came out, and then World War II ended, and all began.
We could start building stuff again.
There's a very common thread line of when the horsepower craze started. It was just after World War II, and all the 19-year-old alcoholics from both Pacific and European theaters got home and still needed their adrenaline hits. Was like, okay, we're gonna make cars go fast now.
Yep.
And
greaser era time.
Like Edelbrock and all the performance companies, when most of them got their start making their carburetors, they're like, okay, so we'll make a carburetor that can dump a bunch of fuel. And then Edelbrock's like, but what if we had 2 carburetors?
Yep. Well, I mean, there was nothing more popular than back in the day, though. You had the flathead Ford with the triple deuces.
Yeah.
And everything. They were
open headers and send it.
Yep, pretty much. I hate to say, there ain't nothing better sounding than an old flathead Ford going down the road.
Even with the sound of the flathead Ford, there's the big block American V8 any era. There is no other V8 engine besides maybe, depending on how you build out one of the Chevy small block V8s.
Mm-hmm.
The sound that you can get that is as iconic as an American V8. Doesn't any of the European V8s?
No, they can't touch.
They can't touch the sound.
The European V8s, they're a smaller stroke. They're smaller cubic inch because they're taxed on their cubic inch rather than their literage rather than cubic inch. Could you imagine paying that back in the 70s in the United States? Oh boy, I feel bad for anybody who had a big boat back then. Yeah, we're gonna go 460, 440, 454, 455. Yeah,
that is where the whole saying of there's no replacement for displacement. Before we had active fuel management and the computer systems we have now allowing V6s and 4-cylinder to be able to approach the kind of weight to horsepower ratios that the old V8s could have, even the torque that the old V8s could put out.
For probably the most reliable early comers onto the market for engine management and for horsepower and fuel economy, I would have to give it to Honda. Even though they're not an American company, I would have to give the title to them for that VTEC, the original VTEC 4-cylinder.
That VTEC was also specifically made to be as modular as possible, so
yes,
people could have fun.
Yes.
A completely legal fun.
Yeah. Legal.
As legal as possible. We're definitely not taking this car with the VTEC engine up into the mountains and drifting it around corners. No, we're not doing that.
Right? No, not at all.
No. This is a show car.
But I will say, though, there's nothing more funnier, though, than when we both grew up with the time when Fast and Furious came out and everybody wanted to start building the little Jap cars. And
the Ricer
era.
Hands on them. Yeah.
Everybody coming out and they'd say, "Oh, I got 400 horsepower in this little 4-cylinder." Oh, that's adorable. How much torque do you got in that? 10. They were not fast. The only thing that made them quick were the turbos. I mean, at a rolling 60, yeah, you're going to pull away from a push rod.
Or that, and the guys are like, "All right, so I got this car." And this was back when eBay was
the crave for all the parts.
eBay was where you got most of your parts. Like, oh man, I got a full engine kit for like $40.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make 450 horsepower. It's gonna be great.
The Temu before Temu parts.
They made 450 horsepower for approximately 35 seconds in the dyno before the internals of the engine went.
If that.
Because they weren't forged properly to the right specifications, and so they just, your crankshaft's sheared in half.
Yeah, there. But you remember the fan inductions where the electronic turbo, it's like, we're going to put more things. Like you're putting a computer fan on your engine. That ain't doing nothing but inhibiting. But that was tuning back in the day. I mean, we didn't have a lot of the metal shops anymore.
Now they have legitimate electronic turbos.
Yeah.
That's just, it isn't hooked up to the actual exhaust at all. It's hooked up strictly to the intake, and it automatically pressurizes the intake without touching the exhaust.
Well, there's one race crew out there.
You don't have any turbo lag.
No.
Because it automatically
there's another race crew out there, and they're using oxygen bottles. like
not surprised.
actual scuba tanks, and they're actually racing that way. I mean, I see the benefit of it.
They did that with a it was an induction system. I don't know, this is really popular back in 2008, 2009 is when I really started seeing them come around.
Well, that was
You would have a bot. It goes to the back of your car.
mm-hmm.
In the back of the car, you'd put a bottle of water.
Okay.
And it would use electrolysis to
That's your hydrogen generator.
Your hydrogen and oxygen. And then it took those two gases, mixed them in a certain percentage, and shot it into your intake.
You could increase your fuel economy by 10% on the average, but you had to have the right engine. You couldn't have one with the computer management because it would.
But then you also
lean you out.
You had to replace the water every so often because electrolysis would break down the water to the point where it was just sludge.
I knew somebody that actually was doing it, but yeah.
You have to put a new bottle in, rinse out the old,
and
then recycle. You have to switch them out.
Well, my one buddy, he actually did it.
So you had to replace the bottle or something.
But if I remember right, he was using a peanut butter jar, and he had his buddy sitting in the passenger seat and everything. Well, in order to make this thing work, you had to kind of squeeze it in order to keep the pressure. He told his buddy, "Don't let go."
Let go.
He let go, and it backfired in the guy's hand.
Oh, whoops.
Whoopsies. But yeah, that was I think he said that was either in a Granada or a Ranger or something like that when he blew it apart. Oh my Lord, the stuff that we would do back in the day. But I mean, now with modern day technologies, we have turbos. We've gone from turbos to centrifugal chargers now with the Pro Chargers. And a lot of guys they're bolting them straight to the crank. They're not even putting a belt on them anymore, the rib belt, which I can see the slippage on a rib belt compared to an actual tooth belt.
That and the belt itself would, it's not just slippage, it's wear and tear with that belt. A normal belt, unless you're going like full built up Kevlar.
Yeah.
Your cap is like 1,000 horsepower or so before that belt would start to tear itself apart.
Well, on a serpentine belt style rib belt, yes. A tooth belt, you can get a lot more, especially with, we're seeing guys with 10,000 horsepower.
Well, then
turning
they got
those.
The steel link belts.
Yep.
That they started to use with the.
That's old technology. That's been going around since the old gear drive, the superchargers, the old pancakes.
They took them and they reused that belt idea for the specialized transmission. I remember
You're talking about the CVT transmission, the continuous variable transmission junk.
But then they took that belt because that belt, the transmission itself may not have worked.
No. But the belt held up very well.
The belt was one of those innovations where it's like, okay, so we would take this technology, didn't work out, but that part of the technology, we can use that.
Well, they're actually using that belt style now on most vehicles for their timing chains.
Yes.
That's why the timing chains. Yeah, it's not every 50,000 now. They're getting they're claiming 150,000 miles on these engines, but it's literally like, I want to see one of these modern day engines make it to 150,000 miles before puking its guts out.
The engine dies. Pull out the timing belt. We can reuse it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then another technology that's used by a lot of people, they don't realize, paddle shifters.
Yeah.
That was
the 90s. That was the 90s era right there.
Well, that's one of the few technologies that actually got it started in racing with Le Mans F1.
Yep.
The F1 supercars.
F1's the first innovator for those.
Because obviously, when you're driving at 250 miles an hour, it's you don't want to do this.
Yeah.
The amount of stabilization you need to put on that steering wheel at all times
is a lot.
You do not want to take your hand off of it for a fraction of a second to shift your gear, so you got to put your shifters on the steering wheel.
Yeah. But could you imagine though, putting a driver from, we'll say, the 30s and 40s for the old IndyCar races in a modern day IndyCar or Formula One or even Formula E? Could you imagine what they would think of the cars today?
After getting over the shock,
yeah,
they would have way too much fun.
Probably.
Because those guys were insane.
They open cockpit, leather helmet, let's go race around a turn with a 1,000 horsepower car on wheel that wide.
Right.
Cummins, 1958. We are going to qualify our horizontally laid Cummins engine, and we're going to go qualify in the Indianapolis 500. And we barely make qualification because there's so much power being put to the front right wheel steering that it's actually shredding the tire during the 3-lap qualifying. And if memory serves me correctly on that, the tire blew when they got back in the pits, from what I've read on and everything. So they got back to the pits, the car's sitting there, the wheel explodes.
Well, I think if it's going to explode, you want to do it in the pit.
I'd say so, even though that still sucked. But even back then, though, they had it to where I think you didn't lose your place in lap. You could come back out on the race. You had X amount of laps that you had to qualify for, though. So they kept track of your laps in order to be able to race.
Right.
So you could take as much time as in the pits as you wanted to. It's just, it probably wasn't the best idea, even though you've seen guys back then sitting there getting out of the car drinking while they're replacing the brakes or the that wasn't water, I guarantee it either.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
I mean, and even today in the tractor pulling realm, I mean, tires, it used to be you'd see guys spin them on the rims. Yes. And everything would blow out your tire, and that was an ordeal. Now everybody's got the bead locks. Mm-hmm. Even in drag racing, they're running bead lockers now, where it holds them tires in place. I would probably say that's a modern day innovation that's, I would say, soon coming to production cars.
Yeah. Yeah, the ability to, I don't even know if modern production cars need it. They don't have enough power to be able to throw your.
The way that they're designing tires today on those low profile tires, on those, there's
skinny tires.
Low profile. You're talking about a sidewall of a tire that's the thickness of a rubber band, basically.
Yeah.
Those, as soon as you go into a turn on them, they're. What's going to flex? It's going to be the sidewall. It has to. There's nothing else, especially on, we'll say some of you guys out there running those rubber band trucks and everything, that we're going to put a 4-foot wide tire on a sidewall that tall. Not pointing fingers at some people I've seen out here pulling trailers with those, but the amount of aspect of whenever you are turning, you're putting that much pressure on that sidewall, it's going to blow them out eventually.
Right.
So, I mean, granted, a lot of those are pavement princess. They don't get to do a lot of work, but I have seen a few of them going down the road and have questioned why.
I got a truck. Gonna do truck stuff. That's not a truck to do truck stuff. That's a truck to do car stuff.
I would love to see somebody, though, bring one of those out and try to sand drag or do a mud bog on those wheels. I would love to see. I mean, the wide wheel, I mean, on a mud bog, it might actually keep you above the mud for a half a second longer. Until your tread has nothing.
Until your tread just straight up clogs full of mud because there's little to no tread, and now you're in place.
Yep, pretty much. But that would be something interesting to see somebody actually try. Now, probably somewhere somebody has tried it.
I'm sure they have.
YouTube, find us some videos of that. Please send those our way. Racing gone stupid.
We enjoy laughing at stupid ideas.
Yeah, we love innovative ideas as well. I would have to say probably, what's your thoughts on the future? What do you think the future is going to hold for racing out there?
Well, I kind of went over synthetic fuels, obviously. If they can get that matured, that'll greatly increase the viability of getting cheap alternative fuel into our vehicles, which would, of course, bring the price down for everybody involved, which is usually how technology is supposed to work.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Keyword.
Usually. Active aero, maybe there's even just some production cars now have active aero, but it's more performance side.
Yeah, like Mercedes S-Class, right. BMW M Series.
Certain flaps will close or open based on your speed, which will increase or decrease your
air braking, basically. Yeah,
which will increase. Overall, it's meant to increase your either your braking power it's meant to increase your fuel efficiency because you're decreasing the amount of drag you've got as you're going faster.
Right. I would say too, on top of that, would be for the active aero to use something that, for example, I mean, the trucks used to have it for thermal radiator flaps. So when your engine was cold, it would keep the flaps until it would build up enough pressure, and then you would open up your vents. Your vents would automatically open. I mean, cars had that too back in the 20s, but why can't we have a computer base that? Because okay, let's be honest, everybody's pushing for higher speeds on these freeways.
Yeah.
Well, what's one thing we don't need more faster on is most of these people out here on the road will say, but in the same hindsight, most vehicles are not designed for aero over 110 mile an hour. I mean, you see cars, I mean, we've all done it. We've all pushed cars to the front. You get to the point where that front end starts floating on you. It's a little fun time.
Not only that, your basic road tire that most cars have aren't rated at 95 miles an hour.
Most cars out there are running an N or I'm sitting there trying to think there. If you have a low profile tire, you typically have an S and a Z rated tire, so your tires are rated typically over 93 mile an hour up to 110. But yeah, your average truck tire or something, you're not designed to go that fast. You're just going to blow it apart. But yeah, I would say technology where it's going to come into play is I see future fuel capabilities for racing. If you're talking straight drag racing, electric is going to be the next king.
Of course, you can't.
You're not going to beat that 100% torque at 0 RPM. Right. You're not going to beat it.
That instant torque, you're not.
For longevity racing, I would probably say hybrids are going to be the next step. I don't think alternative fuels are going to be the next. I think hybrid. We had hybrids in the early 2000s. We had that car technology here that they were testing out. A lot of people that had them are great. I mean, let's be honest. We all made fun of the Toyota Prius when they first came out and everything. Everybody, look at you got a Prius. Oh, it's adorable. You look at the new Prius today, they're not bad looking cars, actually. And almost 60 miles at a gallon on some of these newer models.
Additionally, the hybrid implementation, it's not going to be charging the battery directly off of the engine running, like a lot of the road.
Yeah.
What it's going to be more of the regenerative side.
It's going to be a generator. It's going to be well, I see it more of as a generator, like Edison Motors up in Canada with the big trucks, where it's just going to be a generator powering up your battery bank when you need it.
But with longevity racing, what it's likely, because if you do the generator, it's too easy for the software to accidentally keep the battery at 100% the entire time.
Right.
Battery at 100%.
If you're talking on the straight rail, I was talking about regular streets there, but so, racing,
it's probably going to be mostly regenerative. You've got your main power when you're accelerating and doing all of that is going to be from your engine, assisted.
I would say
so. You've got your initial acceleration is probably going to be.
It'll probably be
electric
more
motor driven, and then it hands off to your because the.
It'll probably be how they'll do it is they'll probably limit it on how much electric power you're allowed to use for how long on a hybrid. Mm-hmm. So your program will probably be like, okay, you're allowed 1 minute electric acceleration time, or in some race cases they might even drop that down to 30 seconds. And then you're required to maintain your speed off of your gas engine, but you get that initial burst out of the corners for like 5 to 10 seconds or something like that.
Now, mainly the regenerative part is more like you got the regenerative braking, which is already in cars. It's already, I'm going to say it's a fully mature technology. They're still
playing with it. It has its flaws still, but it was probably about 85% there.
The ability to passively recharge your battery without pulling away engine and fuel from
that, and it's also regenerative braking. A lot of people that haven't driven electric cars, it's like an engine brake, for an example. It will slow you down. It actually gives you longevity on your brakes and your braking capabilities.
And then just the actual the wheel turning itself can be used, because if you just have a free floating electromagnet.
Yeah, you could do the same thing. Reverse brushless. Yeah.
As you're driving, it helps charge the battery as well.
Can you imagine how heavy those rims are going to be, though?
It depends on what
sucker's going to get a little heavy.
Depends which material make the electromagnet.
True.
Technically, you don't even need electromagnets.
No, you could run. You could actually.
You could have a basic heavy metal magnet, and you don't need a lot of heavy metal magnet. You only need a couple of them.
You could almost do it. You could almost do it as a reversed, in what they call an electro disc motor, but reversed, where you don't use a typical ferrous metal, where you're actually using like copper or aluminum that will actually can generate electric current and everything, but does not take away more than what you need to put out. So it's not going to be a high output yield, but it'll be something. I would say it'd be enough to kind of maintain you at freeway speeds.
Right.
That's the biggest thing for hybrids is your longevity for freeway.
And then the other thing I can think of is everyone loves to hate it or hates to love it. AI. AI is going to more fully make its way into the realm of automotive. It's going to happen. I'm not going to stop it. The companies have decided that's what they're going to do. There's AI bubble craze. They're going.
Safety.
The car decides when you can and can't drive it. You're in the middle of a wildfire and you're panicking slightly because you're in the middle of a wildfire, and your car won't move because it's not
you're
safe
in
for you
panic
to drive
mode
because you're in panic mode, and then you die.
Yeah, that's General Motors is one. I can't remember, but I remember hearing a story about a woman who was driving down the freeway, who's shorter, and had issues with her height capability. She had a hard time kind of getting up over the steering wheel. We'll say the average person's about 5'5". She's less than that. So she had to lean forward because the car was slowing down on the freeway. She's hitting the gas and it ain't going nowhere. And everything is just slowing down. She leaned forward on top of the steering wheel to check and see if there was any lights on the dashboard, and it ended up saying on the dash, visual contact with eye contact has been made. Driving normal resumed. So if you're sitting there and you lean back and it can't see your face, it's just going to shut you down in the middle of the freeway when you're doing 60 miles an hour. And I don't know about you, but I mean, I drive trucks down the road. That's the last thing I would need somebody doing is slowing down when I'm going down a hill or something like that. Speaking of AI, we got one going by. You'll make it. Get the Band-Aids out.
And honestly, I really don't think of would be predictive suspension, something we kind of already have right now.
Yeah, Mercedes and Rolls-Royce are probably the king of that, and they've been doing that since the 80s.
And even now, the Ford has been really getting into it. They really started 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
That's when they started their main foray into it. Mainly, they were using it with their.
It was in the Lincoln lineup. It was in the black. Lincoln? It was the black labels was what you could get
the black label, and then also the Fusion. There was the.
Could they get the Fusion?
There was a titanium Fusion package.
Oh yeah.
That. Essentially, what it did was it was essentially the Lincoln. The Lincoln trim on the Fusion.
Yeah, it was a test bed, I think, is what they were doing with that car.
That, and I think they put it in the Focus RS. I'm pretty sure they had active suspension.
100% on that. There wasn't a lot of them sold out there, and the people that have them, they don't really take them out of the garage.
And no, because they were supposed to make more, and now then they decided not to, even though that car
they cut off.
Absolutely dominated.
Well, here's the thing too. A lot of people don't realize that even in the last generation of the Focuses, they all came with race parts already. So all you got to do is just put a better chip in them, and they're just stupid powerful.
Yeah, when I used to work at a Ford dealership, and it was right around 2016. Man, I love all those RSs.
You just didn't like that price tag that was on it. They were selling those for what? For $32,000, if I remember. It was like the starting price on those things back then.
I'm pretty sure it was more because I got a Focus at the time using my discount at the time. The base price for that, it was a base model Focus with the sport package on it. I don't know why a base model Focus had a sport package, but it did.
Yeah.
And I got it. It was $29,000. No, it was $19,000 for the base. And I'm pretty sure the RS was at least double that.
Okay. So about 45, 50,000 then. So yeah.
About. Which, let's be honest, for a rally cross car.
For a hot hatch.
a car that with very little changed dominated the rally cars.
Oh yeah, there's
for-
still Monster's still running theirs. Red Bull is still running theirs.
The amount of racing technology they decided to put into that car and then just on a whim make it street legal is insane.
Well, I think the reason why they were making them street legal is because a lot of people, including ourselves, we've been telling NASCAR to go back to your roots, put production cars back out there, and a lot of companies are just a lot of underground racing groups
Yep.
are building that back up. And that will be something to see again, having production cars come back out. But we're not going to talk about Chevy with their wonderful little idea there of acid dipping. I mean, yeah, a lot of people did, but to the point where you breathe on the car and the roof would cave in pretty much.
Yeah. And then
Or hiding buckshot and everything in the
I
frame.
buckshot and then dumping it out in the pit before you take off. And then
It wasn't in the pit. That's on how they got caught. Originally, all that buckshot was supposed to come out on the on your pre-laps, on your warm-up laps whenever you're behind the pace car. It was supposed to dump it all out there. Well, they didn't turn the cap right, or they turned it too far.
I thought it was because it got wet and so it stuck in there and it rusted and then it clumped out in the pit.
They didn't turn the cap and they didn't start. And he thought he turned the cap enough in order to release it on the race, but he didn't. He didn't turn it quite far enough. He pitted. When the car dropped off the jacks, it knocked the cap off and it dumped it all out, a lot of it out on pit road. And here's the problem. One guy was out there with a broom. 2 other guys seen it. Everybody at that point of the team panicked, jumped out there and was cleaning up. Well, the race crew beside, when they seen everybody panic and everything, they started look. If they didn't panic and they would have had the one guy out there, that probably would have lasted another 5 years probably before they caught on to that. Or with Smokey out there running an 11 foot fuel line, 2-inch diameter. Well, there's nothing in the rule book saying I can't run a fuel line that big or that long. But
or what was it in F1? They're like, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a fan. At the back of our car, but 51% of it is used to cool the radiator. Yeah.
Because it has to be more than majority.
It is defined as a cooling device.
Yep.
Not as thrust.
or you have recently with I believe it's Red Bull and everything.
Oh yeah.
Where their fan or their rear wing is flipping 100% upside down, lifting the car on the straights.
Yep.
And it's blowing everybody's mind. Well, why would you do that? Less drag.
Yep.
Well, technically you're creating more drag, but you're reducing the weight of the car while you're going, and then it flips back over.
Or using the whole car as a wing instead of just the wing itself. Well, it was like was it Honda?
No, it wasn't Honda. It was Mercedes. Mercedes did that one.
I can't remember. It might have been the main way they had it was the front the front trim.
Yep.
Was made in a certain way that it applied helped apply equal downforce across the entire car instead of just the back.
Yeah, because its mounting point was actually underneath the middle of the car.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't directly attached to the front 20% of the car as the rules stated, but they kind of got caught in it. Well, there's mounting bolts up there. No, if you actually look at it, it pushed it into the middle of the car. It's just the rules of F1. NASCAR rule breaking, yes, it's still there. It's going to be there. But nowhere near like F1 is playing around. Those guys, oh my lord, it's ridiculous. Could you imagine with some of these rule breakings that they do if they could actually incorporate them into like sand drag or NHRA with some of the stuff that they're doing?
I would love to see and they give the engineers of those teams just say, look, make a car. You can't have it over this certain weight, and it can't have over this much horsepower. Otherwise, we'll do like wheelbase. You have to have a certain wheelbase. Right. It has to be a certain height off the ground, and it can't be over or under a certain a certain for safety. It has to have certain safety features. But other than that, Do what you will.
Well, that's like I'm talking.
I would love to see that.
I'm talking with a couple pulling circuits right now. I'm not going to say who I'm talking to right now because we're not getting anybody else any ideas right now on this. But we're trying to put together so you have unlimited modified pulling tractors.
Yes.
Okay, so you're talking up to 6 engines, over 10,000 horsepower, equivalent all these motors on these things. Actually, I think there's some of them that are almost 20,000 now. But just go have fun. Maximum money, go have fun. Well, here's one thing. What is becoming, and you've noticed this too, and you've only been around the pulling industry for a short period of time, what do you see more of now in the pulling industry? Last event we were out, they had 3 classes of them. Well, technically 4.
Or the modified V8.
No, trucks.
Oh yeah, the trucks. Yeah, there was a lot of trucks.
There was a lot of trucks there at the bunker.
Like
But
three different.
3 different truck classes, and then you had the semis.
Yeah.
The hot streets. Well, here's the kick. What if we got an unlimited pulling truck series? It don't matter how many turbos you have. You can run gas or diesel, the gas or 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
I would say mix them both together because they're both comparable. The only difference is I would have to say for the rule books for that one is the 2-wheel drives are going to be lighter than the 4-wheel drives.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2-wheel drives, they're kicking their weight up on, they're pushing all their weight onto the back wheels. 4-wheel drive, all the weight's on the front for the most part. That's their pulling power is on the front of the truck. The back's just there to kind of help. Mm-hmm. So that's where we'll kind of draw the line on
front-wheel drive.
That'd be an interesting build.
No, Dodge had a front-wheel drive truck.
Oh God, don't get me started on the D50.
There's
oh my God,
my dad, a mechanic who also did the plowing for the school, school bus mechanic, plowing for the school in the winter. But he said their best running plow truck was the front-wheel drive Dodge pickup truck.
Yep.
Because all the power was on the front, right behind the plow.
Yep.
You didn't have to worry about spinning.
Nope.
You just
you
just went in a direction and pushed the gas.
See, that's one thing I haven't really seen a lot of out there, and I'm kind of interested about a front-wheel drive sand drag. That would be an interesting build. I mean, steering would be an absolute bitch with paddles on the front.
Yeah. Steering's in the rear.
Oh, God. Forklift sand drag. Oh, boy. Forklift drag racing. That'd be even more scarier of a thought.
Yeah, don't turn too hard.
Don't turn too hard. And can you imagine no suspension doing about 100 miles an hour? Because you got to keep the stock body on it. You can lighten it up.
That's where you modify the seat so it has springs.
Air ride.
Yeah.
Solid wheels. Oh my Lord, that would be an interesting ordeal. YouTube, make this happen. Facebook, come on guys, let's build a forklift drag track. No forks on the front, but you still have to have the cage. You still have to have the mast on it.
Yeah.
God. Man, they got combine racing out in Australia.
Of course they do. They have.
That's ridiculous.
They do the same thing here in the States, except they crash them.
No, we have combine derbies. Yeah. A little more fun, but I don't know. See some of what they do to those combines is nuts. But yeah, I mean, there's so much innovation out there that's coming into these realms, and we could sit here and joke for hours about what's coming out and what could be done, what we can do. But I say we need to have more classes, more out there. How fast, how much power can you put out there? Actually have unlimited racing series. I don't care if you want to try to cheat and everything. If you're going to go fast, let's go fast.
Right.
How fast can you make it? Here's your parameters. You can't be over this weight. Can't be no bigger than this. You can't have more than these amount of cylinders.
Right.
Let's be honest. I know Honda would jump on the fact of jumping in NASCAR with a 4-cylinder turbo.
I actually would like to see. It doesn't matter how many cylinders you have, just horsepower and torque is your main limiters. There's a maximum amount of horsepower and torque that you can have, as long as you're under those numbers at the wheel. At the wheel. But
I would also put in there too. You're limited on your size of your wheel on wheel rotation.
Well, sure.
Your gearing. You'd have
wheel size, so everyone.
Well, that
so
there.
the amount of horsepower going to that wheel equals the same.
And you can't have no more than a certain amount of gear ratio as well. So they kind of get some of these guys out there on a big oval and just give them the go ahead and everything. That last gear is going to be one heck of a tall gear. He's doing 160 mile an hour in top gear at half RPM. Okay.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, 175 miles an hour. What's his RPMs at? 1,500?
You know, that's a diesel engine.
What kind of gear is he running on that? What in the world?
Well, right. I mean, that's like down there at the pulling track over a bunker over the past weekend and everything. It's the fact is that he was pushing that much boost through that system over 10,000 RPM and blew that turbo apart. That was something crazy. I'll tell you, I'm sitting there running the video camera. Normally I'm running the photography camera, but I was there running the video camera for that event, and I had a chunk hit me in the leg. And everything. So again, people, be safe. This is why we tell you guys to stay away from the fence and the barriers. We will take I have the insurance and everything in order to cover this stuff here. If I get hurt or one of my guys get hurt, you people stay safe, stay away from the fences. There's a reason why they're there.
Is that the one that blew up at the end of the track?
Yeah, that was
all the white smoke.
No, you didn't really have a whole lot of white smoke. I mean, you had Snowman blow up in front of you.
Yes, that was a...
He blew his turbo apart.
Pop.
Oh, yeah, he blew the turbo and the intercooler apart. That part they threw on the back, I thought it was part of the intercooler. No, that was the guillotine for the shut it down.
Oh.
Yeah, so he blew the turbo completely apart on that one as well. So, but yeah, I mean, diesel engine turbos, and typically it's going to be a rubber boot, or if it's directly all piped together as one solid unit, typically the turbo's going to be your next part that go boom.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, Detroit's two-strokes were the king in pulling trucks for the longest time. Nowadays, Cat and Cummins are the next big heavy hitters out there. I mean, they are mean machines. Detroit's there too, but not quite as much. There's not a lot of parts for those out there. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be quite fun. But as we're talking about racing, we got to shout out for next weekend. Tri-County four-wheeler. We got the big rodeo, 24th and 25th, people. Let's come on out and let's see some racing. If you want to race, if you have anything, four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, and you want to race 300 feet, go down there and register. Have to pass basic safety qualities. I do know for a fact you need helmets and everything, so if you have a slight race suit or something like that, I'd recommend it just for safety for everybody. Come out there, helmet, neck guard, neck brace, all that. Come on out, have some fun, let's race, get some more people out there. And here's the thing, parents, your kids can race too. You got a little... I believe running the Pee-wees as well, so bring the power wheels out there for the kiddos to race. They race 60 feet. We have photos and videos out from Dome Valley, Arizona. So yeah, go out there definitely and watch and have these let your kids have some fun too. So it's only 60 feet racing, as we joke around. It's not the problem getting them started; it's the problem getting them to stop because they want to go 300 feet.
Yes.
So, but yeah, we definitely want to have fun. Who are you hoping to see down there at the track for the rodeo?
Specifically?
Well, they got the obstacle course they're going to be running. They're going to be running drag racing, and I believe they're doing the hill climb too. I'm not 100% though.
Well, I've only ever seen hill climbs in videos, never seen one in person, so that'll be interesting to see.
Definitely. Is there any particular vehicle you want to see come out there?
Not really. I'm not super familiar with sand drags, other than car modified to go off-road on dirt track, go fast. That's about all I know.
Right? Let's soup up your Buick. Let's see you go down the track with your Buick. That'd be something interesting. Don't worry about it. I'll pay for the parts. Maybe I'll let you take the Jeep across. But no, I really hope there's one racer out there. We really hope he gets it together out there and gets it back put together. He's been struggling all year with that Willys pickup.
Okay.
And everything. We're really hoping he gets it going out there. Jeff, if you watch this video, we give you best of luck, and we hope to see you out there. And everything. We know you're getting close to getting it finished, but we hope to see you out there. So, but yeah, we really want to see that. He's one of the heavier hitters. A lot of people don't realize that he is a heavy hit truck. Even though he's not in the 2-second range, he's in the low 4s, high 3s. But in that class, that is one mean truck, and he's one of the heaviest 4-wheel drive racers out there. Him and there's another Willys that's up in Michigan, and there's a Jeep that's up there in Michigan, a full body CJ Jeep, and he's heavy. I mean, there was a Bronco out there in Arizona too, but they don't have anywhere near the power or the speed that Jeff's putting out with that Willys pickup of his. I mean, that is mean. So let's see. Last year or early this year, he was out in Arizona. He was having some technical issues with some programming issues, and then he blows the transmission apart, toasted it. He legit toasted it and lifted the heads again. The third time he lifted the heads, to my knowledge. Blew a shock driving across from Arizona to Oklahoma. He blew a shock out. Had to have one flown in from Texas. Luckily, he was there a couple days ahead before the races, so he was able to get that part.
Yeah.
So he made that pass. Comes back, and I believe he said he went up to Michigan with it, and his wife was driving the car at the time, and went up to the starting line, was there idling, and the car shut off.
Not great.
Hydrolocked.
Oof.
One of his injectors stuck open.
Oh no.
Luckily, it happened at low RPM, and it only damaged one piston and everything. But he ended up, to my knowledge, I believe he did replace all the pistons in it and everything, just keep everything balanced. Because I mean, you're talking about 7,000 RPM plus.
Right.
You want everything balanced. But yeah, so hopefully, to my knowledge, he's just getting it back together, so it'll be there for racing. So, but yeah, no, definitely come on out, guys, have some fun. Bring chairs. Need chairs. No grandstands. So bring your own chair. Bring your own seat. Have some fun. We'll be there. We're bringing in extra lighting too, so you're going to be getting the south side of the track all lit up nice and pretty too. So we're going to be there with video cameras as well. We're hoping for the big money race. We're going to be doing live streaming capability. So keep your fingers crossed, and we can get everything set up for that with all the programming. We're working on getting everything set up, so getting all the gear and technical problems worked through. So we're hoping to have it ready for September and October. So, but yeah, we're really hoping for it. What are you hoping to see this year, though, John?
I would love to see us be able to get our live streaming up and running.
Yeah.
The ability to bring more people into the sports.
Yeah.
Take it back to family roots would be amazing.
Definitely. This year, if we do get it up this year, we will be broadcasting free this year. Just so people know, next year, if we do have it up this year, next year it will be pay-per-view. The only reason why we are doing that is we are trying to bring money back to these racers. A portion of your ticket, and we will be fully disclosed with everything, so you all know where your money is going to, how much is coming to my company, and how much is going to the racers. So if you have friends or family that want to go race next year, buy tickets and everything. So if there's an event, the next event that we're at for that race will go to that event. So if you're watching sand dragging, you don't have to worry about that money going to a tractor pull or something. That money from that ordeal will go to the next sand drag event that we are at. So that's one thing that we are trying to do. We want a lot of people, they don't make the money. You can make money doing the sport if it's all you do is that, and you travel going to all the big money races. A lot of your smaller local racers don't get the chance to race for that kind of money, and that's what we're hoping for. We don't travel to all the big events. We bring you to some of the smaller events as well, because again, these are family-oriented sports. We're trying to help grow these and make these bigger, faster, and give these people an opportunity to build something faster or crazier. I mean, I would love to see somebody come out with a turbine maybe on a sand drag shirt. That'd be...
I don't know if it fit.
Oh, it'd fit. You can get turbines about that big. You can get them less than a foot or two long. I mean, you can get some small turbines. What, you thinking a jet engine? Good Lord. Put a big rocket booster on the back. Oh, my goodness.
I didn't hear turbine, I heard combine.
Combine, that'd be interesting.
I don't think the thumb and the boom would fit.
Take the boom off. Come on, let's go. Hey, any farmers out there got a combine? Take it down there to Tri-County. Let's see how fast we can go 300 feet with a combine. If we can get 2 combines there, I will get this set up and everything. I will talk to the guys down there and I'll see if we can get 2 combines. do an expedition run or something. That'd be John Deere versus who? New Holland.
That'd be hilarious.
But yeah, no, definitely, yeah, that's gonna be fun. But yeah, guys, come on down there to Tri-County Four-Wheeler. That's fun. Lisbon, Ohio, just outside, east of Route 11. So if you're going down there, if you're coming in off Route 11, get off at the 165 exit. You're gonna travel east about what'd you say? Probably maybe half mile.
It's not very far.
No, it's not very far at all. It's like two
miss
streets.
It if you're not.
Yeah, if you're not careful, you will miss it. So just make sure you go slow once you pass by. They do have a sign there. It will be to your left if you are heading eastbound there. But yeah, it's just right outside of Elton, right outside of Lisbon there, right off Route 11. Go have some fun. Bring out your trucks if you want to race your truck. If you got a Jeep, bring your Jeep out there too. Four-wheelers. There's 3 different classes to my knowledge. So you're going to have the Enduros, you're going to have, which is like your bikes and side-by-side, stuff like that. Then you have your Sportman, and then you have Pro Sport. Mm-hmm. And I think they might be talking about doing top alcohol too, but I haven't heard if anybody's showing up with those yet or not for this event. But yeah, come on out, guys. Have some fun. Be part of the fun. Or just come out and have some fun. So, any closing thoughts for you, John?
I just I hope that a lot of people start coming out to these events and help start more community awareness about the just your everyday, your city town tracks.
Yeah,
that's where a lot of the big name people come from.
Yeah,
that's where they get their start. Is your local track. It's where they get it's where their legend starts. It's where they start building the skills that they need to take to the big leagues.
Local tracks to our area within an hour's drive, just where we're at here in Ohio. So you have Goods Raceway, which is an amateur dirt track race. It's an 8th-mile track. You have Wayne County Speedway.
Yeah.
You have asphalt track south of us, a little over an hour, but you have Midville Speedway. Mm-hmm. You have, for polling, you have Bunker Hill. You have Mile Grange. You have Canton Fairgrounds. You have Dover. You have Canfield. Sitting there, I think Randolph. You got Randolph there. Mechanicstown. I mean, right where we're at, it's kind of like right in the hub of all off-road racing for the most part. Ohio is probably pound for pound one of the fastest. And I know next month we are going down to Goods Raceway in Virginia on the 29th. So Goods Raceway, you guys get to see us come out there and have some fun there as well. So, and they are, to my knowledge, 200-foot racers. They're not 300-footers, so that'll be a little bit shorter of a track for us all to get used to. But yeah, no, definitely. We want to grow these sports, grow this, have fun, get more money to these pullers and racers, and hope to make things better. So, but with that, we're probably going to be closing out here. Any last final closing thoughts?
Please like and subscribe on our channel. It really helps us out. Also, share if you really like our content. Share it around so more people can see it and get involved in the awesome communities of local racing.
Yep, definitely.
Other than that, I think we're good to close this week.
So, alrighty, sounds good there. But yes, again, Tri-County Four-Wheeler, 24th, 25th, Rodeo Weekend. So, alrighty, y'all. Have yourself a good rest of your weekend.